Consciousness is the substance of all form, and even the challenge that I've been through, I am coming to myself. Because, see, at different levels, you are tried to see at what point do you stop manifesting, or at what point does it become too much, or there is not enough. And that's when you got to lift up what you have and bless it. Here's a mystic secret. And keep it in circulation. You have to keep it. You have to keep things in circulation. Nothing works unless you keep it in circulation. Principle number 9, we're going to deal with consciousness. Read.
Consciousness frees us from ungodly demand.
Okay, I want to type that in. Consciousness frees us from ungodly demand. Consciousness frees us from ungodly demand. And so when we start to understand this, we'll understand the words of Joel Goldsmith is that whatever it is that we need to come into us, we'll begin to understand we will be free through consciousness. Read on.
Because consciousness is omnipresent, there can be no such thing as a need. And man, whose very nature is consciousness, is not under the law of supply and demand.
Woo! So Prophet Kelly, is Joel Goldsmith trying to tell us that once we come into consciousness, we're not under the law of supply and demand?
That's exactly what he's saying, Master Prophet, because we realize that there are no limitations because consciousness is able to birth whatever consciousness needs. And so out of that birth comes whatever it is that we desire. We bring it into form, into manifestation.
Wow. I am feeling that and breathing that right now. And I'm freeing myself from the law of supply and demand, according to the world system. Okay. Principle number 10. Read.
God's grace can meet the demand.
Okay, I want everyone to type that in because that's a statement of faith. I want everyone to type in right now. God's grace can meet the demand. God's grace can meet the demand. Read on.
God's grace is equal to any demand that can be made upon it. No demand upon you can be too great when you have divine grace upon which to draw.
All right. Okay, let's begin to go now to principle number 11. Life always meet you. How does it meet you, Prophet Kelly?
According to your demands upon it.
Whoa. Okay. So now when they want to type in right now, life always meet you according to your demands upon it. Life always meet you according to your demands upon it. Prophetess Deborah, what does that spell out to you?
Yes, Master Prophet. Life will always meet you according to the demands that you have placed upon it. And I'm reminded in Scripture where it said, I will be unto you what you will have me to be. So if you will allow it, when you will let it, then it will be.
Okay, read on, Prophet Kelly.
There is no virtue in being timid where life is concerned. Life will work with you according to your demands upon it. To claim is to seek to obtain by virtue of authority or right. If your goal is legitimate and realistic, then you should claim it in mind as if it were an accomplished fact. You either claim your goal or you disclaim it. There is no in between. If you claim it, you accept it and possess it in mind. If you disclaim it, you renounce or repudiate your right to the goal. Life will take you at your own evaluation.
Life will take you at your own evaluation. So how do you value yourself? That's the way life takes you. See? So are you being taken correctly by life? Sure. All you got to do is change the value of yourself, and life will take you based on that value. Okay, Prophet Kelly, read on.
Demand faith. Principle number 12. You must demand faith. The great modern revival of divine healing is due to the application of the same law that Jesus used. He demanded faith on the part of those whom he healed. And with that faith as the point of mental and spiritual contact, he released the latent energy in the atomic structure of his patients, and they were restored to life and health.
Wow. So we begin to see here that the power was not so much in Jesus, but the power was in the individual. That's why he kept saying, according to your faith, be it done unto you. Everything that takes place in your life, it will take place based upon your faith. Okay. Read on.
Principle number 13. The law of demand requires right thinking.
Okay. I want to type that in. The law of demand requires right thinking. Now, Vernon Howard begins to bring us into this law of demand, which requires right thinking. What does he tell us there?
Unawakened people demand enemies, for enemies provide a fierce agitation, an emotional thrill, which they tragically think is life, but which is misery.
Wow. So unawakened people demand enemies. So when you are creating an enemy, you are unawakened. You are unawakened because when you're awakened, then you start creating friends. So what are you awake to? Principle number 14.
Dependency creates unhealthy demands.
Dependency creates unhealthy demand. Now we're going to learn something from something that Vernon Howard shares with us about a class that he had. Read.
During a class discussion on authentic independence, the following points helped the class. Dependency always creates unhealthy demands.
Okay, let's stop right there. Dependency always creates unhealthy demands. Prophetess Cynthia, what would you say about that? Dependency always creates unhealthy demands.
Yes, Master Prophet. You know, dependency is bad because it makes you look outside of yourself to another. And the answer is always within you. The dependency has you chasing something outside of yourself instead of looking for the answer within.
Wow, Prophetess Deborah.
Yes, the dependency also never allows you to grow and mature and come into your own because you're always seeking for otherness or you're seeking for approval.
Amen. Prophetess Mary Jordan.
Dependency, when you're in the dependency, then you're waiting for other people to evaluate you and you don't evaluate yourself. So dependency will cripple you. You'll never grow because you're dependent on someone else to do what you already have on the inside of you that you can do.
Amen. Prophetess Gloria Kelly.
And dependency negates your oneness with God.
Wow. Okay. So dependency always creates unhealthy demands. Okay. Read on, Prophetess Kelly.
The demands may be cunningly concealed, but they are always there. If we depend upon another person for our happiness or security, we will demand that he continue to serve us or demand an increase in service. Everything about this is harmful. Self-dependence removes the harm.
Okay. So self-dependence removes the harm. Self-dependence removes the harm. Okay. Now, this next one is a little intense. I'm almost thinking about giving you a break before I can give it to you. Because you need a breather for this one. I'll type it in the chat room, and I'll let the chat room tell me whether you're ready for that or it says maybe we need to take a break. Now, I've typed the next principle in the chat room. And you either let me know, says, yes, I'm ready for that, or give me a break. Jürgen Mayer said, I'm ready, but I think he's from Austria, right? Do you spoke to Jürgen Mayer today?
Yes, Master Prophet.